You can
Where are the
still
police?
breathe,
They're on their way.
but you're...
Nobody's trying to hurt you. We just want to make sure the house, none of that happens to it. And
No, we had just.
Yeah, are you comfortable, young lady?
Looking at this crib.
Okay, as long as you can breathe and you're comfortable, we're good.
so
How you doing?
me and him were looking at the house, just checking it out. We're not from here. And she came up behind us, had a gas can. And at first she just seemed like she was kind of...
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this pretty fascinating story out of Atlanta involving what easily could have been a story that would have went absolutely nuts in the mainstream liberal media had the suspect fit the narrative. However, because she doesn't fit the narrative, while this story is currently being covered, best believe tomorrow it will be swept under the rug. If and when they find out an actual reason for why this happened. Again, depending on the reason here, we have to see what the actual reason is. I got a gut feeling that, again, this story will be swept under the rug pretty quickly, okay? And this story involves a woman by the name of Miss Lanisha Chantrice Henderson, who got caught in broad daylight, basically, trying to burn down MLK's birth home in Atlanta. Okay, so she was caught on the steps of the porch, pouring gasoline on the home in an attempt to try to burn it down. Presumably, that's what she was trying to do. Now, we don't know all that much information about her motive. However, there is some speculation out there. But before we get into it, I want to go ahead and play a news clip so you guys can get a better understanding of what allegedly has happened here. Take a look.
The birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. doused in gasoline in an arson attempt. Tonight, one person is behind bars. What we know about them and the home damaged tonight. That is where we begin on News Edge at 11. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Haynes. Atlanta police say that a woman is in custody after trying to burn Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home to the ground. A good Samaritan stopped the woman just before the disaster struck. Fox 5's Rob DiRienzo live for us at the scene tonight. Rob, what more do we know?
Tom, such a bizarre situation playing out here earlier this evening. The good news is, though, this could have ended so much worse. But thanks to those quick thinking actions from those good Samaritans, everything is okay here. You can see things have quieted down from even within the last hour. Earlier today, APD, along with federal agents and national park agents, were out here earlier. Right now, there are just so many questions that still remain. We have some incredible video of this incident, though. I want you to take a look at this. Witnesses say that is the suspect in the act holding that red canister. The 26-year-old woman has been arrested, accused of attempting to vandalize Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home here in Atlanta. This home here along Auburn Avenue has been undergoing renovations, so has been closed to the public for the last couple weeks. Witnesses told police the woman came up to the home carrying a gas can before 6 p.m. They say that she then proceeded to douse the plants and porch with what they say smelled like gasoline. The bystanders, who included 2 off-duty NYPD officers, jumped into action and pinned her down until APD showed. Later, they told cops they intervened when they saw her try to light a lighter.
Had a big 5-gallon gas can in her hand and was going like this over the bushes. So I figured she was, related to maintenance for the building or something, was just trying to water the bushes. But it wasn't coming out, and she seemed a little irritated and a little on edge.
If the witnesses hadn't been here and interrupted what she was doing, I mean, it could have been a matter of seconds before the house was engulfed in flames. It was really about the timing and the witnesses being in the right place at the right time.
She finished dumping the gas and dropped it into the bushes. At that point, I called 911 on my phone, stopped recording.
And just within the last half hour, the King Center released a statement thanking first responders, saying, quote, "Fortunately, the attempt was unsuccessful thanks to the brave intervention of Good Samaritans and the quick response of law enforcement," adding, "Our prayers are with the individual who allegedly committed this criminal act." Now, police tell us the woman is facing charges of a criminal attempted interference with government property and attempted arson. She could also be facing more federal charges because this is a federally protected property. That's the latest from here live in downtown Atlanta. Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
Oh, goodness, just so hard to believe. And thank goodness that home didn't go up in flames, Rob. Thanks for the latest. The home on Auburn Avenue dates back to 1895. Dr. King's parents moved into the home in 1926, and he and his siblings were all born there. In 1968, plans were made to begin restoring the home as a museum. The MLK birth home closed at the end of November for restoration work. It was scheduled to reopen in 2025.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, there's some speculation as to why this person may have did this, and I'm going to get into some of the speculation, right? There's some pretty wild conspiracy theories that are coming from people like Tariq Nasheed, who, you know, in my opinion, is basically a known black supremacist, in regards to why this happened. He's basically trying to blame immigrants, right? Or, you know, non-FBAs, or maybe this is some type of white supremacy attack. Who knows? Take a look.
So who sent her? Who sent this chick? Where is she from? You know, I want to keep an eye out on where this woman is from to pull something like that. And again, looking at the images of her, I'm telling you, I smell jollof and pepper stew. AJ, hop on.
Uhuru.
What's going on, man?
Could this arson be related, or could it be retaliation for the assassination attempt of Derek Chauvin in prison?
You know what? It could be, because, you know, they blame that on us and it had nothing to do with us. But it could be, you know, the white supremacists love getting revenge. So yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I just think it's a possibility. It was very recent. He appealed his conviction, and it was turned down. And then within a matter of days, a 52-year-old inmate in his unit, I believe, stabbed him 22 times.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't know. Again, it could be, you know, the white supremacists don't like taking L's. That Derek Chauvin case is very significant. When these race soldiers get put on trial, the race soldier who killed Tatiana Jefferson, I think he's on trial now, right? He's still on trial, and I think they're trying to manipulate some things to thwart that case so that he don't do jail time. White supremacists hate taking L's, and then when they take an L, they got to do something retaliatory. So it's very interesting to see how these things are going to play out. Let's get
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? When Tariq Nasheed talks about jollof and pepper stew or something like that, he's basically trying to reference non-black African immigrants, right? Or people from the Caribbean and stuff like that, right? This is what he's trying to reference. So he's low-key trying to insinuate that this person is an immigrant. Now, again, I mean, just looking at this picture, this person looks like a black American to me, but hey, who knows, right? They also can be sent by the white supremacists, right? It could be a white supremacist revenge thing, right? This is what this guy is speculating. Pretty fascinating stuff. Now, here's what I think, okay, in regards to the motive, which, you know, at some point, again, this person who allegedly committed the act, we will get information about the motive depending on if it fits the narrative, right? Depending on the narrative, we may or may not actually get the real motivation. But I do think that there's probably a few likely explanations for why this person did it. The first, obviously, clearly is a mental episode, right? That's why they did it. This person apparently is a veteran, okay? Allegedly, that's what it looks like on the alleged Facebook page that I've looked through. But again, I can't confirm that's actually her Facebook, even though it looks very much like her, right? It looks like her Facebook. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. You know, I've seen some things up there that can explain why she did this. But again, it could be, again, a mental episode. The second possibility could be that it is a fake hate crime hoax, right? We've seen this before in this country. We have the Juicy Smollets of the world that will commit a fake hate crime and then try to basically say, oh, it was white people, they did it, right? Because they hate black people, they hate MLK, and this is why it was done, right? So this person tries to burn down MLK's house. You blame white people, and then you ignite a race war, right? Maybe that could be what this is, right? An attempt to ignite a race war with a fake hate crime. Again, we've seen this done before, okay? With the Juicy Smollets of the world, it's not far-fetched to speculate that that could be what's going on here. Now, again, personally, I don't know. I'm just giving you guys the scenarios that I think are possible considering the information that we have. By the time you see this video, there'll probably be more information that's come out. We don't know, but we'll see, right? We'll see. From what we can see here on her alleged Facebook page, she actively supported Biden and Kamala in 2020. Okay, so again, you know, it could be something having to do with some fake hate crime. However, we don't know. I've seen other things on her alleged Facebook, though, that indicate that it could actually be a real hate crime. And what I mean by a real hate crime, it could be a real hate crime from a black supremacist standpoint, in which they don't like MLK, because there are some people who are black supremacists who don't like MLK because they don't feel like he was radical enough in regards to the black cause, okay? And, you know, the reason why I say that is because I've seen posts on her Facebook that kind of allude to some of this. For example, she posted hashtag free Malachi Z York, okay, on her Facebook. And that guy, Malachi Z, is an American black supremacist who is a part of several black Muslim groups. And again, this is, again, a part of kind of the black supremacist movement. So again, there are people who feel like MLK actually was bad for black people because he wasn't radical enough in regards to pushing for, you know, segregation. They actually feel like MLK actually did bad for black people by pushing for integration. And it could be one of those things where this person is upset and saying, hey, well, I'm going to burn down MLK's home because of black supremacy. They don't like integration or MLK's role in integration. Again, I'm telling you, there are people that are radicalized to believe this type of stuff. Again, it's more common than you think, right? So that's what I think. I think more than likely is either a fake hate crime hoax or it's actually a real hate crime in which this person dislikes MLK because MLK, again, was a part of integration and he pushed for integration. There are some people who are radicalized that believe that, hey, black people and white people should stay separate. MLK was a setback for black people, not actually progress for black people in this country. There are people that feel that way. So that's what I believe. Now, again, we'll know for sure once the information comes out, right, about what the motive was. But again, you can only imagine, had this person been white, again, what would the reaction be, right? This story would be everywhere. And I'm not saying it's not everywhere. I mean, it is being covered. But I'm just saying this would be a story that would be used as an example of the hate and bigotry in this country, right? But because the person is black, what's going to happen is that it's probably going to get swept under the rug pretty quickly, especially if it comes out that this was an act of black supremacy, the type of black supremacy that I told you guys is existent in this country. But again, people don't want to talk about it, right? And again, if it does come out that that was the case, yeah, they're not going to talk about it, right? They're not going to talk about it. Again, the narrative from the left that they want people to believe is that the only supremacists in this country are white supremacists, right? There's no such thing as black supremacy. That's not a thing, right? That doesn't happen. Okay, nobody commits hate crimes out of, you know, disdain for, you know, integration, right? And, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I'm just saying, it could very well possibly be the case. I personally don't know, right? I want to just be very clear. I don't know. I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, I think most likely this is a fake hate crime or it's a real hate crime. And regardless, it's just a stupid thing to do. It'll be very interesting to find out what the motive is. All I do know is that if this person was white, then the media will automatically assume what the motive is, and we'd be having a conversation about all the anti-black racism and hatred towards black people in this country. And I guarantee you that's not a conversation that will be had, you know, about how, you know, maybe we have a lot of race hoaxes in this country, right? Maybe that we have too many people trying to incite a race war in this country if it turns out that this is a fake hate crime. Or if it turns out to be an act of black supremacy, we won't be having a conversation about, hey, are people being radicalized in regards to feeling like, you know, integration was a terrible thing and, you know, acts of, this type, maybe contributing to that, right? It could be a sign of that. Who knows, right? Again, you're never going to have those level of conversations the same way that they would have a conversation about the anti-black racism in this country if this person happened to have been white, right? I can only imagine what they'd be talking about if this person was white. They already know the motive. They'd already be telling you the motive. People will be on CNN and MSNBC giving sob stories and in tears and talking about how they don't feel safe. It'd be all types of crazy stuff going on. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.